Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Grip Lock preview for the next major, the European Disc Golf Festival out in Tallinn, Estonia.
At the Rockstar.
The Rockstar, it's the Tallinn Songgrounds Rockstar layout, I believe. Or are they just calling the course? I think it's the Rockstar layout. I'm pretty sure that's just the layout. If you go to the caddy book, it says Tallinn Song Festivals.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the name of the course. I think Rockstar is the format of the course. Regardless, slightly different than last year because we are playing 4 rounds out here. So that means that basically a lot of the holes have 2 different pins. Most of them are similar vibes, just one shorter, one longer, so on and so forth. But the big star of the show here is the venue. The venue itself is incredible. This is on the Tallinn Songgrounds, as we said.
Estonia.
So they start off on that like crazy stage with the screens, the type of which just isn't ever really seen in disc golf. Also, the fan support is probably going to be pretty mind-boggling out here, considering I believe they said 3,500 people showed up for just the like all-star skills game, basically.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy because the actual all-star event probably drew
50.
Maybe 10% of that, if even. So having 3,500 people there for that, yeah, here's the Songgrounds.
Well,
so the tee is like in the middle on that stage.
That's
there.
18's tee right there.
They're throwing off 18 right there.
Yeah, what's funny is, when you think about the venue as a whole, like obviously you have 18 and 1 where you're like throwing these crazy shots into that open field. The rest of the venue is nothing to write home about. Like,
correct.
But they do make up for it. Like you can tell that there's a lot of effort put into the fencing they have up, so much fence and advertising. So they definitely take a very professional approach. I mean, there's even what looks to be a TV tower on one of the holes that I saw. Some pretty wild advertising on it. Some kind of like creature on it. So whatever. But like,
I don't think that's a TV tower. I think that was just the tower was put up for the advertising. I saw it on the Disc Golf Fanatic page, and he was like,
okay,
whatever company, I don't know free ads, but I don't actually remember the name of the company. Whatever company like went all out for their advertising spot this year.
They just made.
I think they just made a giant tower.
That's interesting. One of the Mandos on one of the holes is just like a big green like. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's just a huge green like tarp, basically. There's some interesting things going on there, but overall, it does look like the event looks pretty professional.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it's going to create a very interesting major because this course should prove to be very shreddable.
It looks.
Yes, there is OB. There's not really going to be any wind. Honestly, I would kill for the weather they're going to have. Highs of like 70 some of the days. Highs are in the 60s.
Great.
Oh. Come on. That sounds incredible. Very low wind. It sounds like the perfect disc golf temperature, to be honest with you. And the layout, like, there's a lot of shorter par 4s, no par 5s, even some shorter par 3s. Like, we're talking, like, 300 and sub 300. I believe there's a sub 300 foot par 3.
Like 300. Hole 2 might be the one that's like 275.
Yeah, so
there's some short ones.
All that to say, very, very scoreable. I believe last year we saw, like, I think it was a 16 under. It was a 44 from Ricky in round 1. So I think that there's going to be playing one layout, rounds 1 and 2, a different layout round 3 and 4. But like I said, it's not like they're drastic. It's not like the scoring is going to be completely different day one from day 4 or anything. So Ricky averaged a little under 10 under last year. I'm expecting with it being a major, how perfect the weather is, how good the field's gotten, that's kind of pushed closer to 11 or 12 under average, which means we're probably looking around 45 to 48, somewhere in that range winner.
Yeah,
under par.
We get aggressive with that, I guess, sometimes. Like I would say between 40 and 45, but like I feel very confident about at least 40.
If someone gets to 50, they win.
Yeah, I'd say so. That would be crazy. Yeah, like you mentioned, no par 5s in the entire course. Most of the par 4s, especially the day 1 and 2 pins, it felt like if you got a good drive in play and you threw it relatively far, you were just chipping up. And then the par 3s, like I'll at least give them some credit to you and I, they could be considered tighter. But like to the pros that hit these gaps all the time, they weren't having a ton of trouble with them in practice that I saw, and like they are pretty darn short. And I mean, you think there's 2 tunnel shots that look exactly the same. One pretty early in the round, and one I believe is 17. It finishes 3 par 3s in a row, 2 of them being pretty short and easy, and then the last hole being kind of more of that epic shot. But 3 par 3s in a row there. So it's going to be quite a departure, I think, from like I will say this. Like I don't want to bash on it because I do think it may be too soft. We'll see if the OB, at least in a major championship, the pressure will mount. So maybe that, the OB will get into anybody's head. And there are some shots that are more difficult than others off the tee. Some low ceilings come into play. But I do think at least it will be memorable because I think it's going to produce some interesting results. Like I think we might see a track race. We might see some like people threatening 18 under because there's even some eagle ops out there. Yeah, I think it'll at least be fun to watch because it's different than what we've seen a lot on tour.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to be pretty different feeling from what we see 2 weeks from now in the next major.
Yeah,
which will be a little bit longer. Obviously, they'll have, I believe they're doing the 1-2 where they'll have the more wooded course. They'll have the typical European Open course in the Beast. There's still going to be the OB, but very different feel, I think, from this major to that major. I still don't like that we're going to go back-to-back majors, but, at this point, we're in it. We got to deal with it. So it should be a very exciting weekend of disc golf. If you like scoring, you like birdies, which most disc golfers do, then you're going to probably love this weekend.
What's funny is with the back-to-back majors, I think a lot of us talked about, like, this one getting forgotten because the European or the Worlds is next. But it is interesting with this one being first, and we haven't had a major in a little bit, so we're really geared up for it. Like, does this one actually overshadow the next one a little bit?
No, mainly because the next one's Worlds. If this was Worlds and the next one was European Disc Golf Festival, I might be on the same page. But with the next one being Worlds, no, I don't think anything's overshadowing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think. It depends on who wins them, too. Like, if we get a really big storyline winner for this tournament and then maybe a lesser one in the next tournament, or if somebody were to go back-to-back, I don't know. I know I'm, like, super amped up to have another major to fight for, and then, like, getting a second dose of it, it's going to be hard for me to get as excited, even with it being Worlds.
No, I think I agree with going into the excitement level going in.
I just don't give any extra credit to Worlds,
I just think coming out, I think you do. You just don't feel like you do. Because if I asked you the World's winner of 2010, you're going to spit it out to me.
Oh, Eric McCabe.
And then what is the European Open winner of 2010?
Yeah, no, I don't.
In memory, we will.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe not in feeling currently.
We recite the World's winners the most of any of them.
Exactly.
That's definitely a fact.
That's what I'm saying. Because 2010, we both know is Shoestrick for USDGC, but that's because it's Shoestrick. Like if we go with,
I think I know a good bit of the U.S. winners, but yeah, I mean when you get to the European,
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even know if European Open wasn't. That could have been a Japan Open or something weird.
No, it's definitely a recency thing. You're right. Like after.
But I agree. 2 weeks from now, I'll probably feel less amped up for Worlds than I feel right now.
Right.
But I do think that doesn't necessarily mean which one's gonna be more forgettable because as time goes on, we'll remember Worlds more.
That's valid.
But here we go. Major weekend, defending champ of the event, Ricky Wysocki. This event marks. Basically 2 droughts for him. This is event to event, 1 year since his last win. We're about a week and a half away from it actually being calendar 1 year, but the European Disc Golf Festival was his last win. And we're also now 8 years, 19 days away from his last major win.
Yeah.
So they both collide
Which
here.
Is outrageous.
So is he ending both streaks here, or is the pressure mounting too much and his winlessness continues?
I feel like where I kind of have him positioned is like has a really good chance to be in contention, but when push comes to shove, like I think it's going to be so hard to close that out. Like the longer the streaks both go, the harder it gets to end them. So I don't know. I don't think he is. I think there's a really good chance he's in contention. But I think when it comes down to it, like it's going to be really, really hard to close out.
I fully agree, mainly because at this point, Ricky, historically for me, has always been in the same realm of Paul, in the same realm for a little bit there, of Calvin, in the same realm of Gannon Burr, where it's like, if the guy knows anything, he knows how to win, right? Just clutch moments. That's kind of what I think of when I think of Ricky, just banging these huge clutch putts, throwing the shot he needs to. This season doesn't feel that way because there's been several moments where he's had the opportunity to make the putt. He's had the opportunity to throw the shot. And maybe it's not whether or not that actually he wins it or not, but a lot of times it's like, he knows if I miss this, I lose. If I make it, I have a chance.
I mean, you think about...
Like Cascade Challenge, I think was one of them, where it's like he has a putt that he knows if he makes it, there's a chance he wins. He wouldn't have ended up winning, but there was a chance at that moment, missed it. The drive at Crocole just last weekend, which I know some people are saying he was going for eagle. this drive's the same. So I don't really buy that.
Yeah. He flipped over
also, I don't think anyone's ever going for eagle in that situation because like you get yourself into a 5-way playoff. Like I don't think I really buy that narrative. Regardless, he messed up the drive either way in a situation where again, it's in his hands. And that's something I haven't seen from Rick historically that I have seen this year that surprises me. It makes me feel that if that's what's happening at Pro Tours, I can't help but think that's going to be amplified at majors.
Yeah.
And so this one, although last year he did win it by 1 over Paul, and this is somewhere where I feel like he definitely could do it again and get himself in contention. I won't be surprised if he is in contention. I will be surprised if he's in the winner's circle, though.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the next player here, which obviously is kind of the front runner at every event, Sir Gannon Buhr. He's already claimed 3 wins this season so far, and really the last 2 European events, he's just kind of thrown himself out of his chance of the winner's circle in crunch time at PCS, both on hole 16 and 18. Yeah. He really messed up his approach on 18 and then a lot of shots on 16. And then last weekend we saw his approach on 17 is really what knocked him out because then he tried to go in for the eagle on 18 that led to a bogey. But both of those, he had a chance to win. So he's still putting himself in contention, still putting himself in the mix. Is this course, I think the only problem is it's going to bring a lot of the field in. There's a lot more contenders, and it's going to muddy the waters a little bit. Do you think that matters, or do you think 4 rounds, the best player in the world, still the best player in the world, he's the guy to beat right now?
I don't think it matters if he plays well, because I think he's shown that he can steamroll entire fields. What Gannon can have going for him is this course is really straightforward, though there is OB and even some like forced carries and such. There's so many par 3s, and then most of the par 4s, like there's one route. Like there's just one, there's really not a decision to make. And so I think if Gannon can get the recipe right round 1 and come out with a good round, he's just going to be he's the guy who can repeat that 3 more rounds better than anybody. And so I do think that if he can come out hot, the course, if the weather isn't going to throw anything at him, the course certainly isn't going to throw anything different at him. There's going to be different pins days 3 and 4, but like it's not really going to change the strategy all that much. So I don't think it's going to be enough of a twist to throw him off course. So yeah, I think that this is an event you should definitely be worried about him because there's just not a whole lot of twists and turns.
Gannon has been on the record, I forget where, talking about like he doesn't like the golf decision making in disc golf. Yeah. Right? Like he likes this is the line, this is what you do.
He's the best pure thrower out there. Give him a plan, he'll execute it better than anybody.
And that's what this course kind of provides. So, I mean, also we saw the other course that historically has been the easier course on tour, which obviously this year got a little tougher scoring-wise. The Preserve, though, he ran so far away with that thing that you give him another round and he might have won by 20.
I also think there's a ton of hyzers off the tee on the par 4s that, like, for him, just throwing force overstable like this will be so easy.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that it's not even going to demand shots that he wouldn't want to throw. So, yeah, I think if he plays well, he is certainly going to have a great chance. I think
if there is any chance of this tournament getting boring, it's that Gannon Buhr averages like 15 under par.
Yeah, right.
And all of a sudden going into the final day, he's at 45 under, and the next closest person's at 32, and we're like, sick. Thanks, Gannon.
It's not out of the question. Yeah.
That definitely could happen. I think that's probably the best chance of this getting boring is Gannon Buhr goes into inhuman mode. Inhumane. It'd be inhumane what he's going to do to the field if that happens. That, I think, is the best chance of it getting boring. So I definitely think that could happen. But if he does slip up in round 1 or 2, this is something where there's so many players that will be able to shoot that 10, 12, 14 under that someone's going to do it. So if Gannon does come out, a little bit slower, he might be playing from behind. So I do think that's where the importance of everyone getting brought in, that's more where his chances gets lessened. But it is true of, like, he's the best player in the world. If he plays at his best, no one will touch him, especially across 4 rounds. The one guy that might have something to say about that is Isaac Robinson, who has continued to be the player to watch at majors, taking down Champions Cup this year, even though it was at a course that, going into Champions Cup kind of felt like this isn't an Isaac Robinson course, yet somehow the guy still won. Because that course I don't think necessarily made a lot of sense for his game. This one I think does. not super demanding distance-wise, pretty straightforward. It's going to require just repetitive, put the shot in play, get up and down for birdie, put the shot in play, make your putt for birdie. And we've seen Isaac Robinson do extremely well at courses like that where he can also just kind of go into robotic mode. Because when he's at his best, it's like, he's walking out and placing a disc exactly where he wants it feels like. If he goes into that mode, he could be similar to Gannon where it just feels like he's untouchable. So do you agree? You think he's about to lock up his second major of the year, or do you think other players might have something to say about that?
He definitely could. I really have a feeling he's going to win one of these next 2 majors. He's just kind of become that guy when it comes to major season. And you have to think 2 in a row. He's been playing pretty good golf. It feels right. What I do like is, like you mentioned, distance is not going to be a huge factor at these courses. He's accurate. So if he's throwing it well, he'll be able to shred the par 3s. I also think there are some of the more aggressive and risky lines, especially to the second pins, ask for the forehand, but the safer shot is the flip up straight backhand, give yourself the longer putt. There's a few holes like that, and it's those are places where he may just gain a few strokes on the field, not going super aggressive with the forehand and just kind of sticking to his game plan. And I think when you eliminate a shot out of your arsenal, like he does with the forehand, sometimes it works out because you're just not even on the table. And so, I like him a lot at this course. The only thing that holds me back is just thinking but I think he's going to time up Worlds and just play his best at Worlds. But it could absolutely happen.
But wouldn't it be the most Isaac Robinson thing ever to win here and win Worlds?
Yeah, if he wins here, we're all going to be talking about him for Worlds. So
imagine
it's really whatever.
If he wins here and he got hot at the right time here in Worlds, he's 1 win away from the Grand Slam this year, which is crazy.
And he'd have more majors than almost anybody in
existence.
I
really like him this weekend. I'm not going to say he's my outright favorite to win because I think a lot of the reasons I like him, I also like Gannon. Heck, I also like his brother Ezra.
There are a lot of robots out there.
There's a lot of people that when they're at their best, they feel robotic, but he is a guy who he's already won a major this season. Right? So, even from sponsor switch pressure, none of that's going to exist.
Yeah.
He's already done what he needed to do this season. He's already won Worlds in the past. He's already has multiple he has nothing to lose here. There isn't really any pressure on him externally. It's just him. I wish we could see his friend group right now because if we were over there and we knew the vibe, we would know if he's winning or not.
It's true.
Because
they'd let us know.
His friend group kind of Worlds Week, they all told us, even Gannon was there's no point Isaac's winning this week. And I'd like to know is that's what's going on right now. If it's just he's draining putts and everyone's it's pointless in us showing up, Isaac won this week. Or if it feels a little different. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was a course and this was a tournament that Isaac Robinson was hey, Field, sorry, you're playing for second place.
So funny because the first time he won on the Pro Tour at Idlewild, I interviewed him and he said that he practiced like crap. But every time since then that he's won these majors, we've heard that he was just shredding in practice.
But at Worlds, he said he wasn't playing that good. His friends said
true.
His friends
He's got
said,
a high standard.
Yeah, his friends were Isaac is winning this thing. There's no way around it. Yeah. So maybe that's the situation of when he's playing really good, he tries to talk himself down. He's I'm practicing crap right now. So who knows? Or maybe it's just because the courses feel so easy when he's in that mode that he's expecting perfection and practicing like crap as he was 10 feet short on his drive.
Could be.
Who knows? Another player that used to have an Isaac Robinson-esque nature to him walking into majors was Paul Macbeth. He lost by 1 here last year. He's had a rough start to his European swing, which obviously, 2 years ago is where he picked up his win at the PCS Open. He's also kind of looking to end some of the droughts of his own. Nowhere near as long as Ricky when it comes to the major side, but longer than Ricky when it comes to the Pro Tour or just win in general side. Does a shorter, more shreddable course work in Paul's favor here, or do you think that works against him? Where's your head at with Paul?
I think it works against him because I think a 4-round tournament right now works against Paul, unfortunately. I think, he was building a lot of steam at the beginning of the season. The start of the European stretch has really lost me my confidence in him to challenge for a victory. And I really haven't, I don't really play the major card in my head anymore with him. It's just not really proven to be something that exists as much anymore. I'm sure everybody's heightened when they get to majors, they feel that extra level of pressure. But I think at a course like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 of his rounds be really hot and everybody go, oh boy. But I just don't see 4 rounds of consistent golf. it feels like if he does fire off, like come out the gates with a 16 under, the next day he's going to go like 3 under and just shoot himself right out of it. So we just haven't seen that consistent play from him. And yeah, I don't think that the shorter course really matters. In fact, I think, yeah, I don't really know what course plays to his strength at this point. He just needs to figure out his own game.
I think the tough part for me is when we've seen Paul get in contention, sometimes what has failed him this season is the putting. Yeah. And a shorter, more shreddable course becomes a putting competition.
Yeah, you're going to have a ton of putts.
Is what it ends up being. So and true. I don't really know how I feel about Paul in the clutch putting right now, because I think that we've kind of been seeing it with several of our greats currently, where the pressure seems to be getting to him. I mean, Champions Cup, the guy was cruising in, cruising home, had one bad break, where he hit that and it rolled OB, and next thing you know, almost what felt like a certain win slipped to where I think he almost finished outside the top 10, if my memory serves me right. He might have been outside the top 10.
He did.
To where, like, that's more what worries me about Paul, and I think it is the consistency across 4 rounds. Yeah. I could see Paul having the lead at some point in this tournament. I could see Paul having the lead after 2 or maybe even 3 rounds. I don't quite like him to win. It's not completely off the table by any means. I think that, I think a short, shreddable course plays more in his favor than like a super long, demanding course. But I don't think it plays in his favor more than it plays in in everyone's favor.
Physically,
basically, it only plays out of the favor of a handful of people.
Right. To your point about the putting, like you and I can go get putts at this course. Like it is not a course where you're looking and you're like, oh my gosh, like the 2 shots you got to throw to get a putt here. Like there will be a ton of putts, and so that's why you also got to think about a guy like Ezra Aderhold, your dangerous C2 putters, because there will be plentiful amounts, especially rounds 3 and 4 on those second pins. There'll be plentiful opportunity to make C2 putts, and like there'll be so many strokes to gain if you're making your putts from like 30 to 50 feet, because you're just going to be capitalizing on probably what you're going to see a lot of out there.
Well, I guess that kind of brings me to a final question on MPO. What other players are on your radar this weekend? You just talked Ezra Aderhold. Anyone else?
So many. Basically all
the whole
of them.
field.
Yeah, I genuinely think we could see a weird winner. Like let's talk about Austin Turner, a guy that's had some good finishes this year. Like maybe he throws his name in the hat. Kyle Klein obviously had some putting woes, but has still thrown the disc great. Only lost by a couple strokes. Like perhaps he gets another major. Ezra Robinson is still on the table. Corey Ellis has played some good golf if he's in Europe. He's played some good golf as of late. I'm imagining he is. Like he's absolutely on the table as well. I think there are tons of possibilities for this to be a Presnell situation from last year, where it's like, oh, maybe not as surprising as Presnell was, but
I think that what could happen here is a European winner. I could see a Niklas. I could see Mauri Vilman's been playing great. We've seen Jesse Niemanen. We've seen Lori Lettinen. Jakub Simmerod was just in a playoff. Although if it gets to a putting competition, I don't know if I'm going with Jakub there.
Dang.
Mainly just he missed a 15-footer in the clutch after time 5 or 6 or 7 or however many times he played that hole.
He made one other clutch.
But one other player I'm thinking of that has been slowly peaking.
Oh boy.
This could be it. Sullivan Tipton.
Yeah.
I like Sully a lot.
I just don't know there's enough forehands out there.
Well, I was thinking that. Right, but I think that to a certain extent, he has a very serviceable backhand, but also to a certain extent, I feel like Ricky and Sully typically play well at the same courses. I could be completely off there.
Sully's been playing well just about everywhere.
And so when I see Ricky won last year, that's where I'm kind of thinking.
You put him in top 3, didn't you?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's where you did, which I don't hate.
I love Sullivan Tipton.
And he's been good at majors too. Like that is not a
he came in 5th at Champions Cup. I don't know. I have Sully on my radar this weekend. I also have Mauri Vilman on my radar this weekend.
And Sully though, there's your example. Like the reason why that scares me is because putting is going to be so big, and like that's why he's not winning tournaments.
Correct.
He hasn't putted it well enough.
Only takes one weekend.
True.
Let's hop over to FPO. Honestly, could be even a more interesting weekend than MPO because
FPO is going to be a mystery.
This is what's been fun is I feel like we sat on this show for 2 or 3 years and we kept saying, Kristen, this is her tournament. How could she lose it? And we kept saying we were hoping to get to the point where I feel like we are now, where I'm kind of looking at the field. And it's a little bit of a toss-up.
It does kind of suck.
There's a lot of players that could win this thing.
We thought it was going to happen because other players were going to get better, and it's really just because
worse.
Kristen's putting 50% from C1X.
Yeah, so last year out here, we saw a playoff between Missy Gannon and Evelina Salonen, both of which could easily get back in the winner's circle into that position again. With how Evelina's been playing, and her putt has slightly improved. I'm not going to call it good, but it has slightly improved as the season went on. Do you think she's in the seat that kind of Kristen used to be, where it's like, this is Evelina's tournament, it just, like, she could throw it away, but, like, if she plays well, no one's beating her, or are you not quite at that point with Evelina?
That's where I want to be. Like, I do think she's the heavy favorite, but I think that a lot of people are probably going to be too quick to jump on that bandwagon when it's like, it's not like she's had some insane dominant stretch. She's played some good golf. Apparently, she just aces like every round she plays right now. So I do think she's my favorite, but this is FPO. We still could see chaos at any given point. So I'm not going to say it's anybody lock and key, but I think at this course, she should shred off the tee. It's just going to be, can she putt at the level she needs to?
I'm going to go ahead and say, if I see the tough part here,
I think she's got to putt like 60%.
I'm going to say if she putts, well, I was going to put a line for the whole tournament because obviously it factors all of it in, because I think there might be one round she putts really great. So I'm going to say if she putts 70% C1X for the tournament.
70?
She wins pretty handily.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
Well, she normally is putting mid-60s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like she needs to get over 60 probably to win.
So you think if she's at 61%, she wins, guaranteed?
Not guaranteed.
I'm saying 70% she guarantees wins.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mainly because I think that allows for a final round like 60% where things get a little dicey.
Dicey for her is 40s.
Well, I'm saying that might bring some people in.
Yeah.
So I think 70% for the tournament she wins. I don't really, and I'm not even, that's 0% C2. I'm not even thinking about her in circle 2 because like she just has to make her circle 1 putts, not even C1X. I think if she's 75% circle 1, period, I think she wins because sometimes she's missing those X putts. Where C1X they rule them out. Sometimes you'll be like, interesting, there's another 3 missed putts in C1. So I think Evelina is definitely, this is going to be a course where everyone's going to get putts. Evelina's going to probably statistically have more putts than everyone else for birdie, and it's just, can she make them? Now, Missy Gannon already has a major this year. She showed she could play here last year. Is she the next player on your list of players to watch here, or do you think she has more of an outside chance at winning this?
I would say more outside. I think her leave of absence and, you kind of, a lot of recency bias in my predictions, admittedly, and I don't think she was playing amazing golf going into that leave of absence either. So she's kind of fallen off. Doesn't really have any momentum right now. Sometimes a break can be really good for people. So like I won't say that she has no chance, but there are 3 other names on the list that are ahead of her for me.
I'd agree. I mean, last player we saw take a leave of absence
probably
was
4
Evelina,
other names,
and came back with win. So I'm not going to say that's not going to happen for Missy. There's just other players that are playing really good golf that I also like at this course. That like Missy's on my list of players with a chance to win, but she's not next on my list of players I expect to win. With a shorter course that requires hitting lines, I wouldn't imagine Holland Hanley's the first player that comes to mind when you hear that, but she is the number 1 player in the world currently, fresh off of her first win in Europe.
Yeah.
Do you like her here, or do you think maybe Worlds is the major to watch for her at, and this one's someone else's to take?
She'll be more dangerous at Worlds, but like she finds different ways to get in contention and have a chance to win. So I don't think that it's like, everybody has their struggles hitting lines, and she's certainly like, you don't get to where she is by being inaccurate. Obviously, her distance is a tool, and it still will have its, like, there will be opportunity for your distance to give you an advantage on this course because it might make some of these par 4s trivial, especially from the FPO tees. So, yeah, I still think she's going to figure out a way to leverage this course in a way that gives her a chance to win.
I think the big thing for Holland is how she plays the par 4s, because if she's able to keep the disc in bound in general,
right,
but then on the par 4s, if she's able to use her distance where she's like jump putting in or having little putter shots in to where everyone else might have a little bit more. I mean, Evelina obviously is in a similar boat where she should be able to put herself in position to just get up and down. But I think that's where if she's able to execute on all of those shots and she doesn't really miss any par 4s this weekend and she's able to pick up the par 3s, she'll be just fine. Yeah, I don't really think this being like, oh, it's a shorter course with hitting lines, Holland's out of it by any means. I do think it brings other players into it that's more where it becomes Holland has more people to fight.
Because there are some par 4s that like use their lack of distance effectively to like shorten how far you can get off the tee, but there are also a good few where like just having more distance, they'll just let you take as much as you want.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hole 1, for example, you can kind of push it as far as you really want to, and it doesn't necessarily punish you to do so.
Now, when I'm thinking of this course, one player that I think could be very dangerous out here is Silva Saarinen. Typically very accurate, typically very great with the putter. Her big limiting factor a lot of times is distance, which, on this course won't be nearly as much of a struggle. So what do you think is the key to Silva's victory this weekend?
Just feeling healthy and finding her putt again. That's kind of like the key point of her game is being a deadly putter and keeping the disc in play. And so, yeah, like everybody, if the keys to victory out here are stay in bounds, make your putts when you get chances. And then like for the distance players, it'll be like take advantage of the distance. Well, she doesn't have that one, but she needs the other two keys to win. Whereas somebody like Holland might not be a lights out putter, but she needs the distance and keeping it in play. Like everybody, there's that equation basically in FPO right now. And she certainly, like putting will have to be a big part of the equation for her. She'll have to be really efficient from C1X and make converting on some of those C2 putts that other players won't. But it is a name like we talk about Isaac Robinson, where like we get those names that we very quickly cement in our heads as like, ooh, shorter, tighter at times. Like, yeah, let's throw them in the hat.
I think Silva, when I was thinking of like what is she gonna have to do this weekend, circle 2 is what seemed important to me, because I think that where Evelyn is gonna give herself a lot of look for birdie, Holland's probably in a similar boat, and where Silva can take strokes from both of them is outside the circle. I think that if Silva, she has to be locked in C1X, but I think that that's true for pretty much everyone but Evelina. So when we're looking at what's unique to her, I think her circle 2 putts is where that could kind of be her superpower, where she's not going to necessarily get as much off the tee. She might have more longer looks at birdie, but if she's able to convert on those, it doesn't matter. And that also can be very deflating down the stretch, because if you're someone who gave yourself a 25-footer and she has a 40-footer and she hits that, there's a lot more pressure on that 25-footer. So I think that circle 2 is what I'm looking at for Silva this weekend. I think that she has to give herself the looks and stay in bounds, but circle 2 putting, I think, could really be make or break for her. So plenty of other players that are in contention this weekend. But the last one I want to really focus in on is obviously the hometown hero that seems a little lost right now, Kristen Lott. Just confirmed her pinky toe is broken. Obviously has been playing on it.
Cut it off.
She isn't necessarily practicing going into this tournament, I believe. I think she's taken a lot of time, some time off. She withdrew from the Superstar All-Star event they did, and now comes into it, like I said, hometown tournament. She didn't play good here last year. It's now a major. She made a post basically saying, I need to get out of my head. I need to stop playing for everyone else and start playing for me again. Is this the weekend she finds it, or is the pressure just too much?
Yeah, probably a little too much. I mean, it's not impossible, but I don't really – I don't know. It's tough. These players, we're talking about Rick and, her, and we talk about Calvin at majors. When you get on the other end of a snowball of, negative PR and, these narratives, basically, to the point where, it's very obvious. Obviously with her post, she knows what's going on and, what everybody's thinking right now. So, when you get on the other end of these, it's really hard to dig yourself out of them because, you get yourself in contention and you start thinking about it. You're like, man, this would be so big to, turn around the narrative and just quiet all the noise. I listen to us yapping about it 3 times a week. If anybody can do it, it can be her. But, it might be a situation where she needs a little help. Maybe she gets in contention and then Evelina misses 2 15-footers and, she gets the win. It might not be something that's going to come easy to her. But, she's not it's really the putt, right? So, if she can get some confidence on the putting green, she can be right back where she needs to be. It's that simple, but yet putting is not simple.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen players in FPO win without a putt before, so she just needs to find the Evelina Solon secret. I think that playing at home or in her home area, right? This is the first time a major's been in Estonia, I believe, ever. Could be wrong with that statement, but I believe ever. So. That's going to bring pressure in and of itself. And there's kind of 2 ways to look at how this is about to go for Kristen. One way, which I think, in my opinion, is probably a little more likely, which is if the outside pressure of social media and all of that with her current performance has gotten to her, there's no reason to think that the added pressure of playing at your home turf, driving your Porsche again that they gave you, all of that stuff is going to make that better. There's no real reason to think that, this pressure is good. She's going to respond well to that when she hasn't responded well to this pressure, and they have the same expectation. So I think that's option A, which would result in her not playing great. Option B is it could be a boost of confidence because she is still the hometown hero. She is still,
Sure.
she could be coming in and it feels like on the outside, everyone's looking at her thinking she can't do it. She sucks right now, whatever. And all of a sudden she shows back up to people who are so proud of her that I think it's awesome that what she's doing. They love her. She's doing all of these different marketing things. It could be something where it could, ignite that mojo and she finds it again because maybe what she needed was that, not outside praise or whatever you want to call it, but so there is another world where that's exactly what she needed to right the ship. She dominates here, and now we're looking at her at Worlds like, holy cow, she could go back to back right here and be the Kristen we all know she is. I think that's the toughest part for Kristen is the greatness and how long she did it. It wasn't like a flash in the pan. So like that player is still very much there. It's not a Paige Pierce situation where it's been going on for so long that the player that we once thought of her as has disappeared. She's still coming in second very frequently. She still hasn't finished outside the top 6 since like 2019 or 18 or something crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
she's still great.
She wins.
It's just the expectation is winning.
Right.
Like that is the expectation. And so all it takes is one. Like if she wins this major here, it's like all of a sudden, in my opinion, I'd be thinking Kristen's back. And she got it off her back. So it only takes one to turn around. And storyline wise, winning this one would be electric.
Yeah.
So I don't hate her here, but I don't think I like her more at Worlds. I'm be honest. I like her more 2 weeks from now than here, mainly because I think the outside pressure, not just of social media, but now she's in her hometown, on these big grounds. Heck, the president of Estonia might be putting pressure in her ear because obviously there's a huge event out there. I think that could be something where like maybe it just mounts to too much.
Yeah. And the rest of the field has more like the longer, and you have like the aura that she had, like you look invincible, and a lot of other players have gained a ton of confidence.
They've beaten her.
The last
Before
couple
it was
of years,
like
right.
There were so many players who hadn't beaten Kristen.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I need to get a win with Kristen in the field, and a lot of those players have checked it off now.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden that doesn't feel as scary.
Right. It's a big deal.
And so, obviously we didn't talk about several players that could still win. I think forefront of it is Cadence Burge. So it's going to be a very interesting weekend to say the least. But let's get into our pick'em. We lost 5 points to Tour Life last week. We did it live on Tour Life.
It's like every week we're like basically have the exact same picks, and we just like lose a little.
1.5 points. So there's 1.5 multiplier here.
Okay.
So this could be big. We've got some decisions to make. Let's start on FPO because I think FPO is probably a little more straightforward. Okay, because I think I don't like taking Kristen.
No, it's
I think we go Silva
Evelina,
and then that allows us to get into tier 3.
Is Haley there?
Haley King. Let's look if she's there. I believe she's not.
I doubt it. She hasn't really been. I don't think she plays again for a while.
I think we don't see her. Yeah, I think we looked at this before and we don't see her for
if she was, that would be
a long time. Ledgestone's the next time she's playing.
Yeah, so after Europe.
Rebecca Cox, Paige Pierce, Annika Steen is an option. She's in tier 4.
That's not.
I don't hate that.
Oh, is Ella in tier 3?
Ella Hansen is in tier 3.
Oh, we could take Ella. Like that's probably a pretty good value pick. She finished well at the last event.
Let's see what she just did at Crokle. She came in second at Crokle, 9th. She's doing fine.
I think Ella's actually great value in 3rd tier.
So we're gonna go probably the exact same as Tour Life. If I had to guess, we're going Silva,
They could take Holland,
Evelina, and Ella Hansen.
Yeah.
All right. I like those picks. Now, MPO, I think, is going to be a little bit dicier.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Oh, okay. Let's hear Trev's.
Well, I think you go Rick Isaac.
You like Rick Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think Rick's going to win this event, but like I do have a hard time believing he's not going to be in the top 10.
So then who else do we take? Ricky, Isaac?
I mean, there are tons of good options in that last year. I don't mind Ezra Aderhold.
We got Ezra, Adam James, Austin Turner, Ezra Robinson, Kyle Klein.
I don't mind Kyle Klein either.
Sullivan Tipton's in tier 4.
Is there like
Gooseman's in tier 4? He played good here last year.
Dude, Sully is sneaky too because like he's been playing so well. I mean, he is in that later tier, but.
I don't hate your thought process on Ezra Aderhold's putt.
I think, and also like he's just been so good this year.
Let's just see what did he just do at Crokle?
Oh yeah, because he played bad. But then he came in 6th because he played bad.
He played
at PCS.
42nd at PCS, just came in 6th at Crokle.
I think he's back.
What did
He
he
also
do?
looked good in
Did
the
he play
practice
out
round.
here? Did
I
he
like-
play out here last year?
I liked him in the practice round I watched. Throwing it well.
European Disc Golf Festival. He came in 43rd out here last year.
Ugh.
How much do we get scared by that? Kyle Klein came in 4th out here last year.
Kyle Klein's a very viable option. He did just go through
Maybe
putter
go
gate.
Ricky, Isaac, Kyle Klein.
We could do that.
They're playing on different baskets this weekend.
It's true. Big confidence. I could go Kyle Klein.
I like that. Let's
Those
go
will
Ricky.
probably pay
Ricky,
picks that
Isaac, Kyle
depart.
Klein.
Those also will probably separate us a good bit from them, and we need it. Like, we need to have different
You
picks.
think? You think they're not?
No, I don't think. I think they'll probably take one, they might take somebody different in tier 4, like an AB or a Niklas, and then they're probably not going to take Kyle Klein. So I kind of like that.
All right. Now on our show, picks are worth double points for our pick'em head to head. I am at 51 coming into this week. Trevor is at 44. What do you lead us off, Trev? What are you thinking?
Okay, well, MPO, I kind of voiced all of this, but we're going to go Isaac in 3rd. I still think Worlds. I think it's when he times it up. Ricky in 2nd, because I could just see him coming up short in this event. That's where I'm like playing in my mind. And then I have Gannon Burt winning.
So Gannon, Ricky, Isaac.
Yeah, I think Gannon Burt might just figure this course out.
We have similar to a certain extent. I'm going Isaac Robinson winning. Why not? I like him. Gannon Burr I have coming in 2nd. I did sneak Sullivan Tipton into 3rd.
So I need Rick in the top 3 and Sully out of the top 3.
That's what you need.
And my heart doesn't want that because I like Sully.
I'll go ahead and go FPO. I also went a little dark horse here. I'm going Evelina Solomon taking it down.
Wow.
Not very crazy. Silva Saarinen coming in 2nd.
Wow.
I'm going Cadence Bergs,
We have
3rd place.
huge swing potential
I'm
here.
going Cadence Bergs, 3rd place. No Kristen,
This is
no Holland, no Missy.
crazy.
I could regret all of that,
Oh, my goodness.
but I locked it in. I like it.
I took Evelina to win, and I went Holland Kristen.
All
And
right.
I feel excellent about having both Holland and Kristen in there with you not. But Silva
But you don't
and
have
Cadence have been
Silva.
good.
And Cadence has been,
It could backfire on me, but I
We'll
like
see.
where I sit there.
we'll see. Dark horse pick, who do you have?
Chris Dickerson.
Chris Dickerson, like him.
Yeah.
I'm riding the hot hand, an Estonian local. He's been playing good recently. He's already won once on the Pro Tour this year. He just knocked himself out of the playoff, I believe, last weekend. I'm going Mauri Vilman.
Dang.
He's my dark horse pick. So tune in this weekend on Disc Golf Network, on YouTube, on Jomez, wherever you watch your disc golf. Catch all the storylines and everything. It should be an absolutely electric weekend. If you have insomnia, you can watch FPO 2 because they'll be going live at like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something. But it should be absolutely electric. Connor just dropped something in the background. Everyone's fine. Don't worry. And we'll talk to you Monday about everything that went down to the European Disc Golf Festival.